Want this? Got this? Today, I'll show you how. Do you want a cool shirt, but you don't want to break the bank or buy a bunch of new supplies? Chances are you already have this stuff at home. Today, I will show you how to make any custom bleach design using freezer paper, bleach, and an iron. Materials you will need. Freezer paper, also known as butcher paper. It has this shiny coating on one side. Scissors and a pencil, the bleach, a small spray bottle, paper towel, cardboard, iron, and some dark shirts or clothing of your choice. Here's one of my practice shirts that I made a while back. I did get some super fine details in this one. And since this one turned out so good, my expectations were really high. I'm going to cut off a piece of the freezer paper. Make sure the shiny side is face down. It's easier to draw on the dull side anyway, so just consider this foolproof. There are two methods in which to do this. Method number 1, hand-drawn. The first one requires no extra equipment, just your artistic abilities. Don't have those? You can also print out a picture from your computer. I'm using this cute silhouette of Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. After you have your design drawn out, go ahead and cut it out. Ew, someone needs to clean their scissors. So depending on which piece you want to be the negative will depend on which part of the design you will be using. For super intricate designs, you can use an X-Acto to get more precise cuts. Look away now, it's about to get violent. Ah! I promise you, no dragons were hurt in the making of this video. I want Toothless to be the dark part and around him to be the lighter part. So the part of the design I will be using is this. I love him already. Alright, before I go and ruin this jean jacket, let me show you the before. I'm starting out with high hopes, I see. I decided to put the design on the back. So now I'm adding my piece of cardboard. This will make sure the bleach doesn't soak through to the front. Then I'm going to place Toothless shiny side down where I want him. And as long as you did this step properly, being the shiny side down part, it will magically stick to your item, not the iron. And how would I know this, you ask? You little bugger. Then I'm using some extra pieces to mask off anything that I don't want to bleach. I was so skeptical about this working the first time I ever did it. I actually didn't believe that it would stick, but it does. I'm using a tiny spray bottle with a 50-50 mix of bleach and water. Then just spritz away. I tried to spray closer to Toothless to really make sure I'd get that crisp line around him. Then you want to use some paper towel and absorb the extra bleach, mostly because you don't want it to seep under the freezer paper and ruin your outlines. Then you can go over it with a hot iron. This will speed up the whitening process. It's hard to tell at first if it's working since things that are wet usually turn dark first. After your paper is dry, again repeat with the spraying and the drying steps. I also recommend to do this with an open window. I feel like breathing in heated bleach fumes is probably not recommended for your health. So please, safety first. Better yet, do it outside. I had to go over this a bunch of times before I saw it actually getting lighter. If you're liking this, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future crafts. Now I'm really trying to concentrate the spray to right around the outline. I also put a few drops on top just by shaking my sprayer. So instead of dabbing the bleach this time, I decided to leave it and let it whiten on its own. So I peeled the paper off. There were a few pieces that gave me trouble, but I think so far it's turning out pretty cool. Not exactly how I imagined it in my head. I was definitely wanting a more of a splatter effect, especially for the sky part. It was supposed to resemble the Milky Way. Now for method number 2. Machine cut design. I used my Cricut for this, but you can also use a Silhouette, Cameo, or any other cutting machine. Now you can only imagine the possibilities that are going through my head. I set up the shirt the same way with a piece of cardboard in between. After peeling all my paper off my Cricut mat, I positioned one of the large pieces on my shirt. I'm going to remove this piece later, but for now it's there as a placement holder to keep everything else straight. So I'm just ironing it down. Then I went ahead and placed all the other pieces around and inside this design. I love how it's like a really cool jigsaw puzzle. Here is where I thought the iron was broken. It wasn't sticking. I actually thought that there was something wrong with the paper. Don't know why I would think that, but I did. I didn't touch the iron in case you were wondering. But I was checking to see if it was still heating up, which it wasn't. Still figuring it was the paper, I moved on to the next piece. Okay, still not sticking. Time to problem solve. There you go, you found the problem. I didn't realize I stepped on the cord and pulled it out of the wall. Finally, stuff is sticking again. Now to just place all those other small bits. Then I removed the large pieces, leaving the outlines. Have you ever tried a bleach design before? Let me know in the comments what design you did and how it turned out. I'm ironing it one last time to make sure all the pieces are good and stuck. I also added a bit more paper under the cardboard to make sure the back of the neck didn't get bleached. Then comes the spraying. This one has a lot of surface area to cover. I think I should have done this design in reverse. It would have turned out just as good and taken less time. So same steps as before. Once you spray, dab up the extra with the paper towel, then iron. I love how fast it works on a regular t-shirt. So much faster than jeans. Then repeat these steps again. My room is really starting to smell like a swimming pool now. So a little tip. The higher you spray, the more seamless your bleach blend will be. I was actually really wanting those splatter blobs. Why I couldn't figure out how to get them to work on jeans though, I think certain materials just work better. Jeans is a very thick fabric and really absorbent, probably why my splatter definition wasn't so great. I love peeling off the paper to see the reveal. I may have gone a little heavy on the bleach in some places where it leaked under the paper, but it gives it a grungy feeling. Love it actually. I'm ironing it one last time to really dry the shirt. So after this, you can throw your stuff in the wash like normal. But I was still not satisfied. Back to this jean jacket. This is what it looks like after I washed and dried it. Not bad. Toothless turned out pretty good, but for the starry sky, not so good. So I'm trying again to add those splatter stars that I really want. I switched out the 50-50 blend to 75% bleach and 25% water. Also using this dropper to help me get those splatters. But the jeans just soaks that right up. Just watch as it disappears in this time lapse. No splatters. So sad. Since I wanted star shapes, I even used star-shaped hole punches to help me out. And the shapes really didn't stay. Disappointing, actually. I think if I stuck the paper down first, I may have stood a chance. But because I had already sprayed bleach on it, it was damp and that led to the stars just bleeding and becoming blobs. Scientific explanation. Do you believe me? I really wanted this to work. Well, at least I got some kind of blob definition. Gonna let this dry a bit more before washing. Hoping it will lighten up some more. Join me again next week for another amazing craft. If you missed last week, don't worry, I got you covered right here. All right, see you guys next time. Bye. Yeah. I feel like I truly am the queen of arts and crafts. Get it? Just be a flasher. Let's not do that in public. Bad idea.